Good evening, everyone. We are meeting in the Performing Arts Center of the Walden High School. It is 6 o'clock, and we're going to request a motion to go into executive session to discuss a matter of personnel, a matter of potential litigation, other matters of personnel involving potential discipline against an employee, and collective bargaining matters with the various collective bargaining units. Is there a motion? Mr. Bronson, seconded by Ms. Clark. Any questions on the motion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, we will go into executive session now, and we anticipate returning at 7:30 p.m. for our presentations and our public business meeting. Thank you. All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to one of our most special board meetings of the year, our annual Teacher of the Year recognition ceremony. We got a great agenda. Our Deputy Superintendent, Mr. Smith, will walk us through it, but before we do so, I'd like to open with the Pledge of Allegiance, to be followed by the national anthem sung by our very own Lucy Maniatis, so please remain standing after the pledge is concluded. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, now the phenomenal Lucy Maniatis.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Lucy. That was breathtaking as expected, and Lucy only learned this morning, that she was going to be doing that, so makes it even better. Congratulations, Lucy. Thank you. One more round of applause. All right, to begin the festivities, turn it over to Deputy Superintendent Edwin W. Smith.
All right, I'll take it, Mr. Ciapetta. Thank you so much. Good evening, Dr. D'Elia, Mr. Ciapetta, members of the Board of Education, my fellow administrators, teachers, families, and community members. I would like to officially welcome you to South Huntington's Teacher of the Year celebration. We can clap for that. Before we begin, I would like to thank my friend and colleague, Ms. Joanne Padilla. We came in here at 6 p.m. and we saw her setting everything up. She was like a parent on Christmas Eve running around and getting the presents under the tree, so we appreciate that. Also, thank you to Liz DeMonte and also Lee Tyrell from South Huntington's Public Relations team for their hard work preparing tonight's presentation. And finally, the reason why we're all here tonight. A special thank you to the 7 educators we are here to honor this evening. I'm truly humbled to share this space with each one of you. Please join me in a South Huntington round of applause for our 7 Teachers of the Year. I try to find inspiration each day, which can sometimes be a challenge, I have to be honest with you. As we all know, too often, we get caught up in the routine, and one day easily blends into the next. Last Friday, however, was an exception. Inspiration came easily. I had the opportunity to participate in the mock interviews at Walt Whitman High School. Special shout out and thank you to Ms. Bearline and Ms. Huskin for the invitation. Certainly nice to get out of the office, I appreciate it. The goal was to help our students prepare for their future by practicing their interviewing skills. Interestingly enough, the students I interviewed helped me just as much as I helped them. As I guided them through conversations about their future, they provided me with insight into how they have become the students they are today, Every single one of them had a common answer: the support, the encouragement, and the love they received from their teachers. So for teachers here today, those watching on the live stream, and even maybe the future teachers in the audience, please find inspiration in what you do each day and know that it has a profound effect on the success of your students. Thank you. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Vito D'Elia.
We're trying to figure out what the W stood for. All right. It is a true honor tonight as we come together. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, the microphone's like in a tough place for me. I'm going to hold it. I'm not long, I promise. Tonight's not about me. It's about all of you. Okay. It is a true honor to stand here before you tonight as we come together to celebrate one of the most cherished traditions in the South Huntington School District. Tonight, we recognize the exceptional educators who inspire, support, and lead our students each and every day. And we celebrate the lasting impact they have on our schools and on our South Huntington community. Year after year, this community has been built on a foundation of learning, growth, and opportunity, and at the heart of it all are our teachers. They open doors for students and help them see a world filled with possibility of what could be. Tonight, we honor educators who represent the very best of what it means to teach individuals who were identified within their own school community as educators who stand out, inspire others, and exemplify the qualities that make this honor so meaningful. These teachers were recognized not only for what they do, but for who they are and what they have been able to accomplish. This year, we celebrate Justin, Jessica, Courtney, Kristen, Laura, Michelle, and Christina. Hey, give them a hand. We'll be clapping a lot tonight. 7 outstanding educators who are each selected within their buildings because they consistently go above and beyond for their school communities. Their names may be different, their classrooms may look different, but what connects them is the same commitment that defines what it means to be a teacher in South Huntington. The role of a teacher is one of the most profound and impactful professions in our society. These 7 teachers tonight have created classrooms where students feel safe to take risks, where learning is engaging and meaningful, and where every child feels valued. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you for your remarkable contributions and everything you do on behalf of our students. Always remember that your work matters, not just today, but every day. We are deeply grateful for your commitment, your passion, and your heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. D'Elia. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Suffolk County Legislature, Rebecca Sannon.
I always have to pull the microphone down. Good evening, everybody. How are ya? It's a great night. I want to hear all the kids get excited. Let me hear how excited you are for your teachers. Woo! I love it. I love it. Well, first I want to say congratulations. This is an amazing school district. You have an incredible Board of Education that serves so passionately every single day, and it's something that I am so proud of in our district. It's why I accept every invitation to come and be in community with all of you. And tonight is really a special night honoring Teachers of the Year. And I will just say that I have Jenny Duclay with me from my office, and it's a testament to how incredible the school district is because she went through the South Huntington schools and has been sitting here pointing out different teachers that she has had and how excited she is to see them tonight. And I've had so many interns from your school district as well, and they are just outstanding, outstanding young people, and that's a credit to the amazing teachers that we're honoring tonight, to the parents and families, and of course to your school board. But what I want to say tonight is, teachers don't just open textbooks, right? And we're here to celebrate extraordinary, extraordinary gifts that you have provided to your community. And those are gifts that last generations. I have spoken to so many people since I've been a legislator who are in their 80s and their 90s, and they're telling me stories about their life and link it back to a teacher that cared about them, linked it back to a teacher who inspired them to pursue a piece in their career. Imagine being in your 80s or 90s, and that's what you want to share with people. It's because of the incredible gifts that you create that last generations and create such legacy. Many years ago, I was, through the work I was doing, I got to know a teacher in one of our local schools, and a child who was really struggling. He had a very difficult home life. He didn't do his homework almost ever. He, had behavioral issues in the classroom. And one day I was in the school building, and I learned that the teacher had bought him a bike. And I was sort of stunned by this, and I went over to her and I said, so listen, I heard that you bought him a bike, and I kind of know he doesn't do his homework. I certainly know he's not a model student in your class. Help me understand what that's about. And she said to me, he was in 4th grade, and she said to me, if I can this year teach him that the school cares about him, that he is loved, and that this is a place where he is safe, and that we are going to do things to uplift him. If I can create that relationship in 4th grade, it's more meaningful than anything else I'm going to do this year and anything else I'm going to teach him. And now I'm not suggesting that as Teachers of the Year, you're buying bikes. But what I would say to you is that you're buying trust. You're buying love, you're buying hope, you're buying the future through the currency, which is education, through the currency, which is pouring into these children and believing in them, sometimes before they even believe in themselves. And that's a gift not only to Suffolk County, not only to New York State, but to a world that needs incredible thinkers and incredible leaders today more than ever. So I want to just lift you up and honor you and tell you how proud I am of each of you and what a joy it is to be inspired by you. So thank you.
And let me say, Rebecca, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us. It's always greatly appreciate having you at all our events, so thank you. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce the board president, Mr. Nicholas Ciapetta.
Good evening, everyone. As I said at the beginning of the meeting, it's a thrill to be here tonight again. It's always one of the most special meetings of the year. And talking with people over the years, I didn't realize how many districts do not have a ceremony like this. I've talked to so many parents over the years that say, I wish my district did something like that. And they were so happy that we do, and I'm happy as well. Tonight, we celebrate 7 remarkable individuals who have reached the pinnacle of their careers. These individuals have worked hard. They've perfected their craft, and they've obtained the respect of their colleagues and students. And now they can call themselves Teachers of the Year, joining the ranks of so many distinguished educators that came before them. But while we celebrate these 7 honorees tonight is also about a lot more than that, because these 7 individuals also serve as symbols of excellence in teaching in general. They are the wonderful examples of the caring, devoted, and hardworking teachers that constitute the faculty of the South Huntington School District. So tonight, as we celebrate them, as we celebrate Jessica and Courtney and Kristen, Laura, Michelle, Christina, and the South Huntington School District Teacher of the Year, Justin Gravina, we also celebrate the hundreds of others who work in South Huntington, who also have wonderful dedication and care so much about their kids and love their work. I graduated from South Huntington nearly 30 years ago, and I can still remember the name of almost every single teacher that I had here from grades K to 12. Hopefully I can do that for a little bit longer, too. But I'm sure I'm not the only one that can do that. What does that tell you? That tells you the power of a teacher, that a teacher's impact is generational and it can last a lifetime. And that's what we celebrate tonight. So on behalf of the Board of Education, I want to congratulate each of you, and we'll also have additional gifts for you later on and some special things to remember this night by, but I know you don't need really anything material to remember it. You're going to remember this forever. Congratulations. All right, our last speaker on the agenda. So from one president to another, I'd like to now introduce Mr. Robert Morris, President, South Huntington Teachers Association.
Good evening, everyone. As the president of the Teachers Association, it's truly one of my greatest honors to stand here tonight and celebrate our Teachers of the Year. Congratulations on this well-deserved recognition. Of all the things I get to do, this is always the best. This evening is about recognizing educators who work beyond the textbook, beyond the problem set, and far beyond the shot clock. You are the ones who invest in developing meaningful, respectful relationships with your students and colleagues. You show up every day not just to teach content, but to teach character, resilience, and confidence. And that impact lasts far longer than any lesson plan ever could. I know many of you do not enjoy the spotlight, and tonight probably feels a bit uncomfortable, but I ask you to embrace it. You've earned it. You should be proud of this accomplishment because being named Teacher of the Year means your work has made a difference and that others recognize it. You represent the very best of our profession: dedication, compassion, professionalism, and heart. You remind us why this work matters and why our schools are better because of the people in them. On behalf of the SHTA, thank you for what you do every day, for the lives you change, and for setting the standard for all of us. Tonight, we celebrate the 7 of you, the best of the best. Congratulations.
All right. To kick off tonight's teacher presentations, it's my pleasure to introduce Countrywood's principal, Mr. Mitch Levy.
Good evening, Dr. D'Elia, Mr. Ciapetta, board members, cabinet, colleagues, and friends. It gives me great pleasure to speak to you about Countrywood's Teacher of the Year, Miss Jessica Escalante Rodriguez. Jess is joined tonight by her husband Felix and her children. Miss Escalante joined Countrywood in February of 2020, just a few short weeks before the COVID pandemic began, something I know we all wish we could forget. Not hiring Jess, but about COVID itself. Prior to joining Countrywood, Miss Escalante worked as a social worker in a preschool in Queens, as well as a child therapist and services coordinator for the underserved. I clearly remember those first few weeks after Jess was hired, how she immediately jumped in as soon as the pandemic hit. Despite barely knowing the staff, students, or families, she was right there making phone calls, conducting outreach, and offering support and resources during this unanticipated crisis. Jess made herself available to our families at all hours. We knew right then and there that we had found an absolute winner. We know how much Jess loved those phone calls and texts from Kelly and I. Hi, Jess, we have a few phone calls for you to make. And by a few, we meant, well, a few more than a few. But Jess always answered our calls and texts and made those calls with a smile and was right there to support our families and students. This dedication has only continued in the years since. Miss Escalante approaches her work with professionalism, compassion, and immense pride. She consistently makes herself available to staff and families, even in the evenings and on weekends, to provide support, translation services, resources, and guidance. It's not uncommon for her to help families locate appropriate medical care, secure food, shelter, and navigate personal challenges. She is truly a one-stop shop for meeting the needs of her students and their families, building strong bonds that often last long after our students have left the building. One parent had this to say about Miss Escalante. It's clear that Miss Escalante's dedication extends far beyond her role as a social worker. She's an advocate, for a mentor, and a champion for every child she works with. Her kindness, compassion, and commitment to her students' well-being are what make Countrywood such a nurturing place for children to learn and grow. Miss Escalante has also created a boutique where families and students can access clothing and other necessities, and she has helped coordinate food assistance for those in need. She ensures that families fully understand how best to support their children and has been known to accompany them in person or by phone to appointments wherever and whenever needed. She truly loves her students and their families, advocating for them in every sense of the word. She goes above and beyond because she genuinely cares about their well-being and wants to see them succeed. Congratulations, Jess, on being named Countrywood's Teacher of the Year. You are so deserving of this recognition. And now I'd like to call Dr. McCallion, Principal of Oakwood, and their Teacher of the Year, Ms. Galano.
Good evening, Dr. Dalia, Mr. Ciapetta, Board of Education, Cabinet, families, students, and staff. Please join me in congratulating Oakwood's Teacher of the Year, our very own Miss Courtney Galano. Joining Courtney this evening are her husband, Lou, and their children, Lily, Liam, and Emma. We are also pleased to welcome Courtney's mother, Pam, alongside our supportive Oakwood family. Now, anyone who knows Courtney knows that her heart beats to the rhythm of a very specific soundtrack. She is a lifelong fan of Billy Joel, and in many ways, she is the piano woman, carefully orchestrating a classroom where every child finds their own unique melody. But Courtney is also someone who finds her peace where the sand meets the sea. She knows that life is better in flip-flops and that a smooth tide makes for a beautiful journey. Courtney's journey with South Huntington began in 2006, and she's been in an Oakwood state of mind ever since. For nearly 2 decades, she has poured her incredible skill set and caring heart into her Oakwood students and their families. Whether in an inclusion classroom or teaching in her current role within the self-contained setting, Courtney's mission as a special educator never wavers. Even when the waves of challenge get high, she is the anchor for her students, ensuring every child knows they are valued and, above all, that they can. Ms. Galano possesses an emotional intuition that helps her connect with each and every one of her students, meeting them exactly where they are. Courtney builds bridges for all children, ensuring that each student who enters her room feels seen, loved, and successful. Inspired by her mother's elementary classroom, Courtney has adopted the philosophy that the classroom should be a place where joy is a constant, like a sunny day at the beach. She gives her students the tools to stand tall, feel confident, proving to them that you may be right when you believe in yourself. Ms. Galano crafts lessons that expertly blend academics, positive reinforcement, and social-emotional learning opportunities. This balance engages her students in high-quality learning moments. Courtney strives to provide her students with meaningful experiences as she individualizes learning for each and every learner. Her students care about her deeply and look forward to learning every day. At any moment when you walk into Ms. Galano's classroom, you can feel the warmth in each interaction, each smile, and each prideful moment in the children's eyes. Courtney has been an active member of the community, volunteering on numerous school committees, including Oakwood's SBM team, curriculum writing committees, and serving as a Girl Scout troop leader. Additionally, she dedicates her time to PTA events, district homecoming events, and Oakwood's Trunk or Treat, just to name a few. I am pretty sure Billy Joel would name Courtney a big shot, and we would certainly call her our sunshine on a cloudy day. Ms. Galano is the ultimate team player. She collaborates with her Oakwood colleagues with incredible professionalism and works harmoniously with her team of teaching assistants and paraprofessionals. Together, Courtney and her team build the connections that allow their students to show new levels of independence. She is always keeping the faith in the limitless potential of every child, never letting them drift off course. Courtney, we are so proud of you. You've shown us that teaching isn't just about the notes on the page, it's about the heart you put into the song and the calm harbor you provide for your students. Courtney, congratulations on this well-deserved recognition. In the words of Billy Joel, we all love you just the way you are. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Bernadelle, Birchwood Principal, and his Teacher of the Year.
Good evening, Dr. D'Elia, Mr. Ciapetta, Board of Education, Cabinet, South Huntington friends and family. I would like to first congratulate each honoree on their contributions to our district and being distinguished as a Teacher of the Year. Now, it's my absolute pleasure to introduce to you Mrs. Kristen Tohill, Birchwood's Teacher of the Year. Tonight, Kristen is joined by her husband, Steve, her sons, James and Dylan, her parents, Albert and Patricia, and her sister, Jen, and her longtime friend, Stephanie. We want to thank you for sharing Kristen with us, our Birchwood family, as part of our Birchwood family. And Mom and Dad, you did an amazing job. Being a teacher is a very special career. For Kristen, it's a calling she has felt her entire life. When the news broke that Kristen was Teacher of the Year, the text messages started flying. Her phone lit up with messages like, you left great impressions on my life that I still carry today. You made such a huge impact on my life. Thank you. And my personal favorite, OMG, congrats. So well deserved. That is a reputation that Kristen has earned. While most of us are hitting the snooze button in the morning, Kristen is already in the building, thinking of new ways to spark curiosity and excitement in our students. And just to make the rest of us feel a little bad, most mornings she's already run a few miles and taken care of everyone else before her day even begins. Kristen doesn't do this work for the spotlight. She does it for the connections. Alongside her co-teaching partner, Miss Michelle Grudoria, they create a classroom where students don't just learn, they belong. Sometimes that looks like reading with a flashlight to make learning feel magical. Other times, you might walk past in October and you'll see the entire class participating in Squattober, doing daily squats while learning about the importance of staying mentally and physically fit. For the record, I no longer walk past in October. I learned the hard way. Kristen believes that some students just need a little butter. Did I say that right? Butter? Little butter. That's her way of saying they need to be wrapped in love, built up with praise, and layered with confidence until they believe in themselves the way she already does. She lives for the little moments. That split second when a student's face changes from, I can't, to, wait, I just did that. In every role she takes on, Kristen leads with both expertise and heart. As a special education teacher, she has been a strong voice in supporting and advancing our special education initiatives, always grounded in what's best for students. She has been both an official and unofficial mentor to new teachers, generously guiding them through their first years, and a valued member of our BEST team, where she collaborates with colleagues to problem solve and support students. Kristen has also led professional learning for staff, sharing her knowledge and experience in ways that strengthen instruction across our Birchwood community. In her 20 years as a special education teacher at Birchwood, she has quietly shaped the lives of so many. Michelle describes her as a master gardener, someone who knows exactly which students need water, which students need sunlight, and which students just need someone to believe in them. Kristen's impact on students goes far beyond academics. She helps them uncover their own potential. She often refers to her students as knowledge millionaires, reminding them that their value is limitless. And that belief that every child matters, belongs, and is capable of greatness is what defines her. That is why today, we don't just celebrate an outstanding teacher, we celebrate a difference maker. Kristen Tohill, thank you so much for making our students feel like millionaires each and every day. Congratulations on being our Birchwood Teacher of the Year.
That's awesome.
Birchwood students, we're going to invite you down for this picture. Come on down.
That's awesome. Yeah, one more. We got this. Oh, man.
It is now my pleasure to introduce Mrs. Maria Colon, Maplewood's principal and Maplewood's Teacher of the Year.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Ciapetta and the Board of Education, Dr. Dalia and our cabinet, and all of our South Huntington friends who have joined us today. It is with great pleasure that I introduce Maplewood's Teacher of the Year, Mrs. Laura Zuchowski. Laura is one of our reading specialists at Maplewood, and she's joined this evening by her husband, John, and her two beautiful children, Charlotte and Teddy. She's also joined by her parents, Nicholas and Donna, and our Maplewood family. As I thought about what to share with you this evening about Laura, I actually told her, I was so excited about the speech, but I don't want to digress. I wanted to find the perfect way to be able to honor her. I asked many people what she likes, and how I can convey that to all of you today. I was told that Laura loves Missy Elliott, and that I should rap a speech about her. So, Laura works it, she works it. Just kidding. Just kidding. I don't feel confident in my rapping skills just yet, so I decided to share another one of Laura's loves, reading. And who do all kids love to read? Dr. Seuss. So here is a Dr. Seuss speech about our very own Laura Zuchowski. In the town of South Huntington, in a school we all know, there's a teacher named Laura who helps children grow. Since 2008, she's been here at her post, one of our reading specialists that we love the most. At Maplewood School, she's a gem, and it's true. She knows that a book is a world to walk through. Reading, says Laura, isn't just a school chore. It's the key that will open every closed door. Whether you're fast or you're slow, in Mrs. Zuchowski's room, you're ready to go. With the science of reading and new tools in her kit, she helps every learner. She will never quit. You aren't there yet is her favorite refrain. With patience and care, she will tutor your brain. Take one student, for instance, in grade number 3. He said, "I can't read," and he'd sigh and he'd plea. But Laura, she cheered him. She knew just what to do, and now he's reading and loving it too. Her kiddos are confident, brave, and so smart because Mrs. Zuchowski gave them her whole heart. For years, she's been leading the way, staying current and sharp to this very day. She leads AIS and Title I meetings too, with Dr. Laura wisdom and warm, friendly greetings. A mentor to teachers, a guide to staff. She makes the work easy and she makes us all laugh. She checks on her students when they leave her room. She watches all of her literacy flowers in bloom. And when the high school seniors come back for a walk, Laura's the first in the hallway to cheer and to talk. She beams with pride that is great and wide to see all the learners she's helped from inside. She's a therapist, a nutritionist, and a dancer so bold, with a spirit of fire and a heart of pure gold. If there's music a playing or a party to cheer, she's the first on the dance floor. she has no fear. The best in the north, the south, the east, and the west, Miss Laura Zuchowski, you're simply the best. So let's toss up our hats. Let's give a great cheer for Maplewood's Teacher of the Year. Thank you. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Toto, principal of Silas Wood Sixth Grade Center, and his Teacher of the Year.
Good evening, Mr. Ciapetta, members of the Board of Education, Dr. D'Elia, cabinet, colleagues, and members of the Silas Wood and South Huntington family. I am truly honored to stand before you today to celebrate not just an exceptional teacher, but an extraordinary educator whose kindness, dedication, and expertise has made a lasting impact on the students and families of the Silas Wood Sixth Grade Center. Tonight, we proudly recognize Michelle Berger as our Silas Wood Teacher of the Year. Michelle is actually going to be the final Silas Wood Teacher of the Year. We're also happy to be joined this evening by Michelle's husband, Mike, their children, Ben and Jacob, and Michelle's mom, Karen. So welcome. Tonight we honor Michelle, an outstanding special education teacher whose impact reaches far beyond the classroom walls. Michelle exemplifies the very best of our profession through her deep instructional expertise, unwavering commitment to students, and genuine passion for teaching and learning. Michelle creates a classroom environment grounded in differentiated instruction, academic rigor, and most importantly, genuine love and authentic care. She skillfully supports students with diverse needs in science and math, designing lessons that are engaging and meaningful. In her classroom, every student feels seen, valued, and heard, because Michelle believes that every child deserves their moment to shine, to be a true superstar. If great teaching had a little Disney magic, Michelle certainly has it. She believes in dreaming big for her students, creating an environment where imagination and possibility are encouraged. She transforms learning into an adventure, building confidence, sparking curiosity, and helping students discover strengths they didn't even know they had. Her classroom is a place where challenges become opportunities and growth is always celebrated. Like the message behind Mickey Mouse himself, Michelle proves that when you believe in people, create joyful experiences, and never lose sight of the mission, extraordinary things happen. Since joining the Silas Wood family, Michelle has taught in multiple settings. She's taught in resource room, integrated co-teaching, self-contained, but no matter the role, she steps up for what students and the school need. Like a dependable Yankees captain leading the team through every inning, Michelle brings consistency, preparation, and heart to everything she does. And like a Knicks team fighting for every point, Michelle approaches every challenge with determination, positivity, and solutions. She is the ultimate solution seeker. She never backs down from what's best for kids. Her dedication, kindness, and professionalism make her an invaluable member of the Silas Wood family. Michelle Berger, you're not just a Teacher of the Year. You're a difference maker, a mentor, a champion for our students, and a true heart of our school. Congratulations, and thank you for bringing magic, teamwork, and championship spirit to Silas Wood every single day. Now I'd like to introduce Walt Whitman's principal, Dr. John Murphy, and his Teacher of the Year.
Good evening, everyone. Mr. Ciapetta, Dr. D'Elia, Cabinet, Board of Education members, teachers, students, and everyone else. Tonight is truly an honor to recognize and celebrate an educator who represents the very best of what it means to teach, to lead, and to inspire. Walt Whitman High School's Teacher of the Year, Ms. Christina Abendondolo. And if you notice in that picture, that's one of her students back there. He's bored. No, I'm just joking. No. Ms. Abendondo is the definition of excellence in education. With more than 3 decades of teaching experience, with 25 of them devoted to the students of Walt Whitman High School, she has built a career rooted in dedication and an unwavering commitment to student success. Over the years, she's become not only a remarkable teacher, but also a mentor, a coach, a trusted leader within our school community, and more importantly, a friend to the people in this room and myself. Before she ever stepped into the classroom, Ms. Abendondolo was already demonstrating the kind of discipline and drive and leadership that would define her entire career. As a high school basketball player, she distinguished herself at an elite level, so much that she was later inducted into her own Hall of Fame at Elmont School District, with an honor that speaks to her talent, her work ethic, and the standards she has always set for herself as an educator. Ms. Abendondolo often speaks about her biggest mentor, her high school coach, Don Lux. And Coach Lux had a lasting impact on her during her playing career, not simply by pushing her to compete, but by believing in her and helping her understand what true leadership looks like. It's that kind of mentorship that stays with a person, and for Ms. Abendondolo, that became a model, one that influenced the way she could later approach her own students and athletes, a commitment to making sure that they felt that they belonged. That same dedication carried with her through college, where she decided to get a degree in science education, not because she thought teaching was going to be easy or that it wasn't going to have its own hardships, but that she wanted to mentor young athletes and students, not only in skill, but make sure that they know that this world, you need confidence, you need resilience, but more importantly, you need character. And she did that throughout her careers in so many ways that she has left a mark on Walt Whitman, the teachers, and every student she has had that she's been able to come into contact with. Her impact in the classroom has been exceptional. She has been at Walt Whitman High School since 1999. Oh my God. I'm not going to tell you I graduated in 97. Ms. Abendondolo taught both honors and Regents biology, and she shaped generations of students with high expectations and the ability to make learning meaningful. Not only did she teach our higher end students, but she also teaches our SOAR and our credit recovery, because she truly believes that every student matters as long as you give them the chance to succeed. Her contributions extend well past academics. She's been a part of the girls' basketball program for the last 7 years, and she has proudly been the JV girls' basketball coach. Through her work with the coaching staff, she has helped them achieve Suffolk County AA championship and Long Island and Suffolk County AAA championships. These are more than wins and banners for her. She helps develop young student athletes into confident, responsible individuals, always ready for success. What truly sets her apart is not only what she's achieved, but what she's done through the power of relationships. Because I think that's the most important thing that she has learned throughout her teaching career. She believes deeply in the idea that students will learn, but they must first feel seen. They must feel accepted, and they must feel appreciated. Because in order for them to feel empowered, they have to feel that they belong. Of course, when we talk about those important relationships, we have to recognize the people that have supported her every step of the way, and that's her family. Her husband, Craig, who's with her tonight, and 2 of her children. Unfortunately, one couldn't come, Chris, but Michael and Nicole. But I want to give them a round of applause because she has dedicated so much time to Walt Whitman, and she has been able to balance that, and it's all because of their support of her. So give them a round of applause. One of the biggest things as I end that Ms. Abendando shared with me is something that truly captures her heart and the philosophy that she has as an educator, is that to be successful as a teacher, you have to build those relationships. Those relationships are with your colleagues, with your students, because in order for you to truly make a difference in their lives, they have to understand that you care and that you want to see them change. Relationships are what shape their perspectives. It's what motivates someone to keep going when they want to quit. It's what builds confidence when a student doubts themselves. Relationships are what make success possible, because when someone cares like Christina does, they feel valued and begin to know that they can succeed. That mindset is the foundation of everything she believes in, and I truly thank her because our students wouldn't be as successful if it wasn't for her and what she's been able to accomplish. So congratulations, Christina. I thank you for everything you do. I look forward every day to what you're able to achieve tomorrow, and I hope that you're able to celebrate as Teacher of the Year for this year and many years to come. Thank you. I also now like to call up Mr. Dugan and his Teacher of the Year.
Do you want to grab that? Congratulations.
It's best if I do nothing. Good evening, Mr. Ciapetta, members of our Board of Education, Dr. D'Elia, cabinet members, colleagues, friends, and families. Mr. Smith started tonight talking about inspiration, and that really resonated with me because just a few hours ago, I had a really inspirational moment. This afternoon at Stimson, we had our very first dance class performance. So all year long, I've been watching students learn new dance moves, practice, be challenged, and they had a moment after the performance, which was wonderful, to speak to their teacher and kind of give her a little bit of feedback and thank her. And so they used words like support and love, and really they were trying to say, one of them actually did talk about how now they have built this confidence. So I want to start tonight by thanking all of the teachers in the room, especially our Teacher of the Year. Thank you so much for everything you do every single year and the way that you inspire our students here at South Huntington. So thank you, all the teachers in the room. Each of you represents the very best of education in South Huntington, dedicated professionals who inspire curiosity, build confidence, and change lives every single day. Education is not just about the lessons taught or the standards met. It's about the relationships built, potential unlocked, and the futures that we shape. In South Huntington, we proudly honor educators who go beyond the classroom, who lead with heart, patience, and purpose, and remind us that great schools are built on great teachers. Thank you for the impact you've had on our students and our community. It is an honor tonight to stand here and recognize and celebrate one of those truly impactful teachers. I'm proud to present Mr. Justin Gravina, who is being honored as both the Henry L. Stimson Middle School Teacher of the Year and the South Huntington School District Teacher of the Year. He loves this. Keep it going. He loves it. These two distinctions are a powerful reflection of the impact Justin has had not only within our building, but across our entire school community. Justin's love and support begins at home. He's joined tonight by his wife, Laura, who's incredibly supportive and proud of him, by his brother and brother-in-law, his father, aunts, and a few family members through the live stream. He's also being cheered on by his children, Charlotte, Justin, lovingly known as Bubby, and Nicholas. Of his children, Charlotte had the best response to learning about Justin's award tonight. She's proudly been telling people that her dad is getting the award for the best teacher ever. Although Charlotte's extremely proud of Dad, she's learning that having such an accomplished father has its drawbacks, especially when the topic of homework comes around. When Charlotte's giving Laura and Justin a hard time about homework, Justin simply says, "Stop, I'm the best teacher ever." You don't really have that accent, but it worked. Justin's passion for teaching began early, as he spent much of his childhood helping his younger brothers and cousins with their homework. That early sense of fulfillment grew into a calling during freshman year of high school through mock trial, where his coach, Miss Asierno, now Mrs. Lester, who I think is here. There she is. All right, you had an impact, another educator with an impact. Mrs. Lester modeled what true dedication to students looks like. Her influence left a lasting impression and inspired Justin to pursue a career in education, one that mirrors the care, commitment, and purpose she showed him. Justin's journey in education has been one defined by perseverance, dedication, and above all, heart. He began his career in December 2008 as a leave replacement in Brentwood and Lindenhurst. In September, Lindenhurst. In September of 2013, Justin joined the South Huntington School District as a special education teacher at Henry L. Stimson Middle School, where he is now in his 13th year. Over that time, he has become the cornerstone of our school community. Justin is present for his students and his Stimson family. He leads our Building the Future Cafe, our cooking club, SAD Club, plays a huge role in Challenger sports events, and so much more. Unofficially, Justin also runs a few Stimson staff fan clubs, where he's famous for creating limited edition holiday sweaters. Stimson staff, we know what we're talking about, and even names a few treats after the VIP members of our BTF Cafe. All of this is done to just bring a little bit of levity to the work that we do every single day. Justin's impact on Stimson and South Huntington is due to his patience, dedication, and empathy. He approaches his work with care, professionalism, and a deep commitment to every student he serves. His classroom is a place where students feel supported, understood, and encouraged to grow both academically and personally. His patience is what stands out to me. Justin has some truly interesting students and moments in class. Although his students are charismatic and funny, they can give any veteran teacher a run for their money. My Stimson family knows a little bit about what I'm talking about. Jamie, I see you smiling. Justin is able to make real connections with his students and push them academically because he has the patience of a saint. And that saying has been rolling in my head for the last couple of weeks as I thought about this address tonight. The patience of a saint. I don't know any saints, but I know Justin Gravina. His calm presence, steady guidance, and unwavering belief in his students creates an environment where all learners feel supported and capable of success. So from now on, I'll be using Justin's name whenever I think of someone with remarkable patience. The patience of Justin Gravina. Try it, it's gonna be great. Justin Gravina, thank you for all that you do for our students, for your colleagues, for Stimson Middle School, and for South Huntington. Congratulations on being named both the Henry L. Stimson Teacher of the Year and South Huntington Teacher of the Year. We are incredibly proud of you, and we want you to know how much you deserve this recognition. Congratulations.
So, patience of a saint, but not a public speaker, so I'll try my best. So, good evening, everyone. Boy, am I surprised to be up here tonight. I honestly thought the building administration was pranking me when they walked into my classroom and announced I was Simpson's Teacher of the Year. There was a camera rolling, pictures being taken, handshakes and hugs everywhere. I was left completely speechless. I felt deeply honored knowing that so many of my colleagues think so highly of me. I am truly fortunate to work alongside such incredible individuals. As they congratulated me, the initial shock slowly began to fade. A few weeks later, even more cameras showed up in my classroom. Can you tell I'm not a fan? Mr. Duggan and the district cabinet announced that I was the district teacher of the year, and I responded with, "That's crazy." Then I immediately followed with, "Oh no, and I have to give a speech." Have you heard that? Once again, I was left truly speechless and incredibly honored. Teaching is a collective effort, a true partnership involving teachers, teaching assistants, counselors, administrators, administrative assistants, parents, students, support staff, the Board of Education, and even Flavio, the elevator man. Sorry. There are so many people who I can think to contribute that collective effort that I could thank, but I'll focus on just a few who happen to sign off on my APPR. Eddie Smith, for hiring me during your first year as principal at Stimson, and supported me along with Anthony Sansada through some of the most challenging students I've had in my career thus far. Thank you. Karen Mushorn, the best boss ever. At least that's what the sign says on your desk. For always giving me the freedom to try new and out-of-the-box ideas to meet the ever-changing need of my students. Mike Duggan and the new crew, for continuing to support our visions in your authentic love and compassion for my vocational students. I've never seen students so excited to go to the principal's office. The staff of Stimson and South Huntington are truly something special. Colleagues become friends, and before you know it, they become family. Every day when I walk into the building, I am welcomed by a team of compassionate, dedicated professionals, and I feel a genuine sense of belonging. We support one another, celebrate successes together, and show up for each other during challenges. That sense of connection, trust, and shared purpose is what makes Stimson more than a workplace. South Huntington is a community where I feel valued, supported, and proud to belong. I was recently asked, what was your favorite part of the day? And so I jokingly answered lunch. But the truth is, I can't narrow it down to one moment. Each class and group of students has its own unique personality. What I enjoy most are the brief, non-instructional moments when I get to talk with students about their day, what's going on at home, or how a sibling or cousin I once taught is doing. In those small moments, it's when you get to know who they are beyond the academics. And those connections are what make teaching so meaningful to me. Through my students, I have learned that hard work and determination can overcome any learning disability. I have seen how perseverance, resilience, and the belief in oneself can turn challenges into achievements. Their dedication reminds me that progress is not defined by limitations, but by effort, commitment, and the courage to keep trying. I spent much of my childhood helping my younger brothers and cousins with their homework. I always loved the sense of fulfillment that came with teaching them something new. That early experience planted a seed, but it was during my freshman year of high school when I joined the mock trial team that my passion for teaching truly took shape. Our coach, a first-year teacher, who had just started the program, showed us what genuine dedication looked like. Watching Mrs. Serno, now Ms. Lester, pour her love for teaching into each one of us was incredibly inspiring. Her impact was lasting, and I knew that I wanted to make the same kind of difference in the lives of others. I'm grateful that she's here tonight. Also here this evening, yeah, she's worth a clap. She's still the coach, 27 years later, all right? She's got a whole mock trial room. It's amazing. Also here this evening are a few of my cooperating teachers from my student teaching days. These amazing professionals continue to mentor me long after their formal responsibilities have ended. They too have become family. My 3 children refer to them as Aunt Barbara, Aunt Deb, and Aunt Helen. And of course, I want to thank my own family, who taught me the value of hard work, commitment, and always giving my best. Lessons I carry with me into my classroom every single day. As I was unaware of the full impact I had on my students, their families, and my colleagues, until I was asked to collect letters as part of the nomination process. Reading those words was incredibly humbling and reaffirmed that I am exactly where I'm meant to be. Hearing from former students reminded me that our impact as teachers often reaches far beyond what we ever get to see. At this year's Superintendent's Conference Day, our keynote speaker, Jerry Brooks, perfectly captured what I believe to be at the heart of education when he said, "Everybody is somebody's baby." That statement reminds us that every student who walks through our doors is deeply loved, deeply valued, and entrusted to us each day. It's a responsibility that I don't take lightly. I am honored to do this work, to serve this community, and to advocate for our students with the care and compassion that they deserve. Thank you for this incredible honor, and thank you for believing in teachers and the power of education.
As I close out tonight's ceremony, I would just like to share a story from my other job, which is the carpool driver extraordinaire. We got any carpool parents out there? Make some noise. All right. A magical thing happens in a carpool dad's life after a few weeks on the job. The passengers actually forget you can hear them. They get comfortable, sometimes way too comfortable. Let's just say you get a real glimpse of teenagers in their natural habitat. But to understand this very unique generation, you need to be able to translate their language. You need to understand phrases like lit, which is best described as awesome, or out of pocket, which is something when someone does something totally out of character. The fact that I have to translate these phrases is a pretty good barometer that I am now officially old, but they're important for the story. As I was driving home the other night with a group of 15-year-old boys, my son did something strange. He brought up school without me asking. He said, I think it's bro. Sounds like bro? Like bro? Mrs. OG is pretty lit. Mrs. OG is one of his teachers. His friend Ty in the back seat chimed in, yo, she did something totally out of pocket the other day. He went on to tell a story about how he was walking in the hallway with a racquetball, bouncing it in his hand. Mrs. OG asked him to throw it to her. He hesitated for a second because he obviously thought she's going to take it away. However, quite the opposite happened. They ended up having a catch back and forth right there in the hallway. What was shocking for Ty was that this went on for several minutes. In his words, and I quote, bruh, it was like for a while. This was Ty's way of providing evidence that Mrs. OG's litness, I'm definitely not using that word right. Absolutely not. You see, Mrs. OG had a chance in the hallway that day. She could have kept walking. She could have just smiled and said hello. Instead, she made a conscious decision to take a moment out of her day to connect with one of her students. Sometimes the simplest interactions can have the most profound impact. There's been a common theme tonight to each one of the speeches: connection. These connections open the doors of learning. Without teachers like Jessica, Courtney, Kristen, Laura, Michelle, Christina, and Justin, those doors might remain closed. So as we conclude, I would like to personally thank all of our teachers for making lasting connections with our students. And I encourage all of you Do something a little out of pocket tomorrow, and you might just be lit. Please join me in a round of applause for all our teachers tonight. I would ask all our teachers of the year to please come join us over on the stairs here for a group photo. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Hey, how are you? What's that? Bitter.
It's time.
Green.
I know. Mitch was like,
Do you have 30 years?
I had, so I'm 60.
Okay.
So I'm past the first time. So
Oh, okay.
I could bring it into
It's you.
teaching till I was 40.
Okay.
I wasn't ready to go yet, but like,
You'll be missed. I saw her come in.
I mean, I said to Mitch, I'm so blessed to have this job. I mean, I know it's a career of a lifetime. And just teaching.
What's that?
I don't want to be the oldest teacher.
No.
But,
Thank you. Life is good? You live in Long Beach, right? You're good. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they don't? Okay. Buffalo, yeah. Yeah, that's 8 hours. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. It's hard. Yep. Excellent. Take care, Susan.
squeezed over here, Regina, in the it was a weird setup, like between these legs here. I know. Sorry. I don't know. It's all right. That was the speech. Thanks. All right, we're back in our meeting. All right, so we finished our presentations and we'll move into our business agenda, but before we do that, I would like to ask for a moment of silence. We learned today of the passing of a very significant figure in South Huntington history, Dr. James Sullivan, who was a former assistant superintendent, as well as a longtime educator in our district, including at Walden High School, where he also served as assistant principal. We learned of the passing just this morning, and deeply saddened to know about that. I know Dr. Sullivan very well. He wrote my high school recommendation, actually, my college recommendation, and he was a great gentleman. The arrangements will be Friday at Nolan Funeral Home in Northport for the wake, and the memorial mass on Saturday in Northport at St. Philip Neary Church at 10 a.m. We ask that everyone keep Dr. Sullivan in your thoughts and his family during this difficult time, and we thank him for his years of service to our district, and ask for a moment of reflection. Thank you. All right, we'll move into our new business agenda. Take a motion to open the agenda, to adopt the agenda, rather. Motion. Mr. Bronson, seconded by Mr. Scragg. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, items E through H require one resolution for adoption. We have some minutes, financial items, no bids. We have the bills, and that's it. All in favor? Oh, excuse me, motion. Mr. Bronson, seconded by Ms. Clark. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Communications, we have a communication from Daniel Commander regarding staff members in the district. Ms. Commander, are you here to address your letter? No? Okay, well, I do thank you for your correspondence, and it was distributed to the board, and it was really, really lovely to read. All right, moving on to new business. We have 13 items of new business. Item number 1 is the approval of a stipulation agreement and release motion. Mr. Joyner, seconded by Ms. Meyer. Mr. Leonardo, and Mr. Lombardo.
Thank you, Mr. Ciapetta. Tonight for the board's approval, this placement, special education placement, is for an 18-year-old South Huntington student who is unilaterally placed at Gersh Academy for the 24 and 25 and 25-26 school year by her parents following an in-district placement recommendation by the CSE. South Huntington is agreeing to pay tuition for both years through a stipulation agreement. The student is diagnosed with autism and requires intensive support due to struggles with emotional regulation and delays with self-care skills, communication, and academics.
Thank you, Mr. Lombardo. Any questions? This matter was previously discussed in executive session. All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Moving on to new business, item number 2 is the approval of health service agreements between the South Huntington Union Free School District and the following school districts: Amityville, Babylon, Bayshore, Bayport, and I won't read the rest. So there's about 45 others, all the way through Wyandotte. So covering pretty much every school district in Suffolk, Nassau. And we have even the city of New York is in there as well. Motion. Ms. LaCara, seconded by Mr. Bronson. Any questions on the agreements? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. These are basic agreements that we do each year. It allows for reimbursement of healthcare services that are provided by South Huntington for students that attend private school in the South Huntington, confines of the South Huntington School District, generally, and attend private school, and the home districts reimburse us for those services. Moving on to item number 3, approval of a budget transfer. Is there a motion? Ms. Meyer, seconded by Mr. Joyner. Mr. Conway.
Thank you, Mr. Ciapetta. Tonight for the board's approval is a request to approve a budget transfer in the amount of $196,270.59. This is intended to cover some related costs to the Memorial 6th Grade Center, such as blinds, whiteboards, and other classroom technology items.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Conway. Questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. All right, item number 4 is the approval of a single audit report. Is there a motion? Mr. Bronson, seconded by Ms. Clark. Mr. Conway.
Thank you. Tonight again for approval is our annual federal single audit for the year ending June of '25. This is a required audit since we received more than $750,000 more or more in federal grant money. This past school year, we had expended just over $7.6 million in federal grant, and our recent report included, our recent report was done by R.S. Abrams and was focused primarily on the food service program. It was discussed in detail at our recent audit committee meeting on January 13th. I'm happy to report that the district once again received a clean, unqualified opinion, the highest level of report they can issue. There were no findings or corrective actions to be taken. And I would like to just say thank you to our R.S. Abrams staff. They really have a great cooperation with the district in the various business office departments.
Thank you, Mr. Conway. Mr. Bronson, anything you'd like to add?
No, Mr. Conway covered it very well.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Oh, just neglected to mention before that if there's any residents, taxpayers, or employees who wish to speak during our upcoming public comment portion of the meeting, I want to remind you that you need to sign up at the computer that's located at the security desk at the high school. Thank you. Okay, moving on to new business item number 5, approval of out-of-state and overnight trips. Motion. Mr. Joyner, seconded by Mr. Bronson. Ms. Kavanaugh.
Thank you, Mr. Ciapetta. For the board's approval tonight, we have a request for a number of out-of-state day trips for the Winter Guard and Winter Percussion groups. These trips span from January through April and all take place in New Jersey. Additionally, there is one overnight trip request for Winter Guard to go to Pennsylvania for the championships in April.
Thank you, Ms. Kavanaugh. Anyone have questions for Ms. Kavanaugh about the trips? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Moving on to item number 6 is the approval of a donation. Motion. Mr. Scragg, seconded by Ms. Clark. Dr. D'Elia.
Yes, this is a very generous donation from Experience. This happened back in the fall at a varsity football game where this company, a parent company, was able to showcase a few of their vehicles during the football game. And we were able to receive $5,000 for allowing them to do that, to have that opportunity. And also, they donated $750 to the Booster Club. It's a very generous donation, and it's allocated towards our Winter Wonderland.
Great. Thank you. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Resolution is carried. Moving on to item number 7 is the approval of an extension to a contract for 18 months. A motion. Mrs. Clark, seconded by Mr. Scragg. Over to Deputy Superintendent Edwin W. Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Ciapetta. For the board's approval is this contract extension with Standard Advisors Group. They have been working with the district to strengthen our connections with the alumni over the past 6 months.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Smith. Questions? Matter was previously discussed in exec session. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, we're going on to another resolution. This is a pretty big one. Adoption of revised board policies. They are policy numbers 0100, 0101, 110.2, 111, 115, 2210, 2410, 6690, and 4526.2. Very strange numbering on the policies. And then we're abolishing policies 4320, 6122, and 7300. Is there a motion? Mr. Bronson, member of the policy committee, seconded by Mr. Scragg. All right, so we'll go through these a little bit. Just overall explanation is we're kind of revising our entire policy manual, at least certain pieces of it. We're going to try to align our policy numbers with how NYSBA does it, and so we're undertaking that task. It's quite a massive undertaking. We're starting with policies that we should have, that are the required policies that we don't have. Well, then we'll be moving on to policies in need of amendment, and then finally recommended policies but not required policies. And along the way, while we're doing this, we'll be abolishing some existing policies that are redundant or superfluous. Okay, we'll go through a few of these. Mr. Smith, would you like to discuss policy 0100, equal opportunity, 0101, gender-neutral single occupancy bathrooms, 110.2, prohibition against sexual harassment, policy 111, Title IX and sex discrimination, policy 115, prohibition against bullying?
Sure, Mr. Ciapetta. As you mentioned, the policy committee has been quite busy, so we'll start off with policy number 0100, formerly policy 6122, equal opportunity. This updated policy on non-discrimination includes access by students to educational programs, counseling services for students, course offerings and programs, as well as the recruitment and appointment of employees. Policy number 010, which is formerly policy 7532, regarding gender-neutral single occupancy bathrooms. This updated policy ensures all single occupancy bathrooms in the district are designed as gender-neutral. Signs designating gender-neutral single occupancy bathrooms must be posted on or near the entry door of that bathroom facility. Policy number 0110.2, formerly policy 6121, is a prohibition against sexual harassment. This updated policy clearly defines sexual harassment and outlines the investigative process when complaints are filed. Policy number 0111, formerly policy 7531, is Title IX and sex discrimination. This updated policy is limited to addressing complaints of sex discrimination, including sexual harassment, that fall within the scope of Title IX. This policy applies to any individual participating in or attempting to participate in the school district's educational programs or activities, including students and employees. Policy number 0115, formerly policy 7315, prohibition against bullying. This updated policy is an effort by the district to provide for the prompt and equitable resolution of complaints of harassment, bullying, and/or discrimination of students.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith. Excellent job. Mr. Smith is the superintendent's delegee on the policy committee as well. So thank you very much for going through those, as well as your service on the committee.
My pleasure.
Policy 2210, I'll take that one. It is the Board of Education committee policy, so it formally commits to the establishment of standing committees of the Board of Education, which include the Facilities Committee, the Policy Committee, the Curriculum Council Committee, the Wellness Committee, and the Audit Committee, and also authorizes the establishment by the Board of Education of advisory committees from time to time for the purpose of eliciting opinions and counsel of the general public. Policy 2410 is what we call the policy on policies. So it's really a policy to discuss how we're going to adopt the policies. And then the last one, 6690. Oh, wait, we have one more here. Let's see. Oh, Ms. 4526.2. Let's do that one. Use of generative or traditional artificial intelligence in instruction. Ms. Kavanaugh.
Thank you, Mrs. Ciapetta. As you mentioned, this is a new policy for the board's adoption. It is an extension of our technology acceptable use policy and seeks to define generative and traditional artificial intelligence. Some of the key components of this policy include expectations for student and staff use of AI, copyright implications, and data privacy and security requirements. As AI continues to advance and has become a part of our instructional toolkit, this policy provides guidance and parameters for acceptable use.
Thank you, Ms. Kavanaugh, and thank you for your work on that policy in this emerging field. And sorry, I had the last one, which is 6690, which is establishing the audit committee, and it hereby establishes the audit committee, which we have, or reestablishes it to oversee and carry out board audit policies and the performance of related duties. So quite a bit of work on these policies, and they will probably be on the agenda, at every meeting going forward, at least for the rest of the year and probably until next year. So this is a big effort. And then, like I said, we're abolishing policies 4320, which is use of committees, policy 6122, equal opportunity and non-discrimination, and then policy 7300, Dignity for All Students Act. Of course, we're not getting rid of the DASA policy. It's just been folded into the existing policy, prohibition against bullying. So it's all here, those policies. Okay, any questions? Mrs. Craig, should we go over it again? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Moving on to new business, item number 9, approval of the policy committee, authorization and charge. All right, let's get so much paperwork here. Motion. Mr. Bronson, seconded by Mr. Scragg. All right, so this resolution formally, once again, establishes the policy committee, but the ending committee in accordance with the board policy 2210, which we just adopted, and it discusses, as well as the policies that we're going to discuss going forward, the number of members for each committee, that there shall be a chair of the committee, what the role of the policy committee is, and its charge, which is to make recommendations to the Board of Education regarding matters of school and community interest, which may include evaluating current board policies, recommending modifications to policies, the adoption of new policies, abolishment of others, and any additional recommendations as may be requested by the board. These committees also talk about the membership, as well as a requirement to attend a certain number of meetings, mentions that the policy committee, as well as other committees, are merely advisory. All right, any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Moving on to item number 10 is the authorization and charge for the Curriculum Council Committee. Motion. Ms. LaCara. Seconded by Mr. Joyner and Mr. Bronson, are members of our Curriculum Council. This policy does the same as the policy committee. It establishes the purpose of the Curriculum Council, the number of board members, the other number of administrators that will serve on there, and it establishes the charge of the committee, which is to make recommendations to the Board of Education regarding matters of school and community interest, which may include review, discussion, and sharing of information regarding new and recommended courses, to develop open pathways of communication where ideas can be shared, and any additional recommendations or modifications as may be requested by the board. Any questions on the Curriculum Council charge? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Moving on to new business, item number 11 is the approval of the Wellness Committee authorization and charge. Is there a motion? Oh, Ms. Meyer, seconded by Mr. Scragg, who are members of our Wellness Committee. This committee policy does exactly the same, and it also is charged with making recommendations to the board regarding matters of school and community interest, which may include evaluating the wellness needs of our school community and making the best possible recommendations on fulfilling those needs in a consistent and equitable manner, and any other recommendations or modifications to the committee charge as may be requested by the board. Any questions on the Wellness Committee charge? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Moving on to new business, item number 12 is the approval of the Facilities Committee authorization and charge. Motion. Ms. LaCara, seconded by Ms. Meyer, former member of the Facilities Committee. This Facilities Committee authorization and charge is very similar to the other ones we've just discussed. Its purpose is to discuss the charge to the committee, which for the Facilities Committee is to tour and review the condition of school buildings and grounds in order to make recommendations for repair and maintenance, suggest and recommend capital projects for inclusion in the annual budget, to propose a long-term capital facilities plan, and any further recommendations or modifications as may be requested by the board. Any questions on the Facilities Committee charge? All in favor? Any opposed? I need a drink. And new business item 13 is recommendation of the placements by the students on the committees on special education and preschool special education, dates listed November, December, January. Motion. Mr. Bronson, seconded by Mr. Joyner. Questions on the placements of students and the recommendations? All in favor? Any opposed? Adopted unanimously. All right, we move on to personnel. We have personnel scheduled 7, 9, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 22. Is there a motion? Mr. Bronson, seconded by Ms. Clark. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, committee reports. We have one committee report for today. It is the Audit Committee. Mr. Bronson.
Thank you, Mr. Ziapetta. So the Audit Committee met this past January 13th. As Mr. Conway had mentioned, we covered the single audit report by from an external auditor on our federal funds. Additionally, we got an update from our Auditor Naraki and Smith regarding our current audit of the food service department, and that audit is moving smoothly, and I want to just thank everybody who's involved in that audit. Everyone's been cooperative and helpful in that process. And then finally, as it's typical, we also worked on our claims audit as well. I just want to report that our claims audit errors or issues continue to be relatively low. When I first took on the audit committee many years ago, there were certainly more errors. We all make errors, we're all human, et cetera, but I just want to report, I know the audit committee has been very pleased that the numbers have been particularly low, so thank you for everybody who's been involved in that, including Mr. Conway, your leadership in that regard as well. And again, I just want to thank Ms. Clark, obviously, for serving on the audit committee with me as a fellow board member.
Thank you, Mr. Bronson. Thank you, Ms. Clark, as well, and thank you for your report. Future meetings. Our next meeting is February 11th. We'll be back at the James Caden Administrative Offices. We're going to do our budget overview, and then March 4th and March 25th, we really get into the nuts of the bolts of the budget. Comments by board members? Ms. Meyer.
Thank you, Mr. Ciapetta. I know lots of congratulations have already been given tonight, so of course, congratulations to all of our amazing educators of the year. But I also just want to extend my thanks to the cabinet, to all of our building administrators and our department chairs. It's because of your leadership, your cooperation, and your collaboration that our teachers are truly able to do their best work and give their best to our students every single day. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Meyer. Any further comments? Mr. Bronson.
I echo Ms. Meyer, and I also just wanted to note that this was a particularly special night for me because my oldest son, who graduated from Whitman in 2016, had this Abdonado for biology. And actually, I saw him this past week, and I happened to mention that she was the Whitman Teacher of the Year. And just like everybody mentioned tonight, he immediately remembered her and just said that, she was one of his favorites. So talking just about making impressions. So again, just an extra special night. Although again, I want to congratulate all of our teachers.
Thank you, Mr. Bronson. Any further comments? I have a couple of my own. I'm going to give the legislative outlook. So as the calendar turns into a new year, the Albany elected officials head to Albany to put together the budget, among other things, which we'll wait and see. A couple points of interest that I want to discuss tonight is one that I mentioned before. It is Senate Bill 1672B and Assembly Bill 756B. I've talked about this before. This is the project labor agreement. It's been discussed extensively. There's a lot of opposition to this, a lot of support as well from some circles, but the education circles are opposed. And Nassau-Suffolk School Board Association put out a very nice, concise summary of the issues here. And the issues is not really opposition, one, to project labor agreements in general, and certainly not to unions. The issue really is one of local control, and that's really the source of the advocacy. There is honestly mixed results on project labor agreements. There are some studies that say it may be cheaper, and there are other studies that say it's going to be 30% more. So the data is not conclusive for sure. The best study out there potentially is one that is independent. It was done by the New Jersey Department of Labor, which says that project labor agreements will cost 30% more. But certainly there's been no definitive conclusion on this. Nassau-Suffolk School Boards Association therefore recommends that the New York State Legislature undertake a study of this, like they did on the Rockefeller report, which doesn't seem to be accomplishing much, but at least we'll know and have really unbiased data as to whether this costs more. But here's the problem with the PLAs. Right now, districts can enter into PLAs if they like. There is no prohibition against entering into PLAs. So why do we need this law that mandates PLAs? Not clear. The second thing is it's a loss of control because, as I said, right now, school boards have the option to enter into a PLA if they want. This law will take away that option. It takes away local control. And school boards are always opposed to things that take away local control, so it's a very consistent position to take. And very important also, it's the third prong of this three-legged stool, is that this bill, shockingly, and I can never remember any other bill like this, it applies only to Long Island, and further, it applies only to Long Island schools. So, school district in upstate New York doesn't apply to. Doesn't apply to other municipalities on Long Island, like the town of Huntington, like the Suffolk County. So if this has such great benefits, why is this not applying everywhere? These are unanswered questions, and we hope we get answers to them. I don't think it's likely, but I think at this point in time, it is way too premature to adopt something like this without knowing the full effects of it, or answers as to why this is affecting such a very small portion of municipalities. And when we asked an elected official, well, why, if it's so great, why aren't upstate legislators sponsoring this? Why don't they want to pass it along to their constituents? And they're like, well, nobody will do it because they don't want to harm their constituents. So it's really unclear why this is happening. Also in Albany, Governor Hochul released her executive budget for fiscal year 2026, and there was some interesting news in there. I'd say one piece, there's good news and bad news. The good news is that the pre-K allotment per student went up. It had been stagnant for quite a number of years. It's now $10,000 per student, which is good, especially for a district like South Huntington, which is ramping up and will have a standalone universal pre-K program next year. The bad news, and it's pretty bad, is that our foundation aid and our overall state aid increased a paltry 1%, which is really stunning and totally insufficient. 1% really doesn't cover anything. It amounts to 500-something thousand. You know, I mean, rollover costs far exceed that. Inflation is higher than that. Interesting notes in Nassau County, which seem to do a little better than Suffolk County for some reason. And then in Suffolk, there are 52 districts, or 80% of all districts, that only received a 1% increase. So this is not just a South Huntington problem, and we advocate for all school districts. All school districts should get more than 1%. 1% is totally insufficient to support a school district. Overall on Long Island, 73 districts received 1%, and which is 61% of all districts receiving 1%. That's really very sad. And we will be advocating for much more than that. You know, we are on hold harmless, so I guess we could have got 0%. So 1% is better than 0, but really nothing to write home about. And the governor, her release, announced that this was record state aid. Well, that may sound good, but it's really not that impressive, right? Because if she allocated $1 more than last year for state aid, just $1 more would have been record state aid. So just saying a record, that's a soundbite that's not so impressive. So Albany needs to do a lot better than this, and we will advocate for that as well. Anyone else? Dr. D'Elia.
Yes. I'd like to shout out to Dr. Murphy and Mr. Blair for coordinating a college tour next week of St. John's University, where 30 students from, I believe, mainly juniors will be attending St. John's for a showcase during the day. They'll be visiting the campus. And also, as a bonus, they get to go to Madison Square Garden that night to watch St. John's basketball.
Nice.
As well. So I know I've been speaking with Dr. Murphy and Mr. Blair about pursuing these college tours, and we're going to look to do it even at greater lengths moving forward to see how realistic it can be. But this is a great first start that we're actually going to entertain physically visiting the campuses of local schools. So thank you to you guys. I become very popular when snow comes. My name will probably be very popular in households, or maybe not this weekend, but there is some storm brewing, and we're watching it very closely. So the reason why I bring it up here is just to remind everybody that we do have, I'm just playing this out, if we have heavy snow on Sunday, there's a good chance Monday there won't be school, and it would be a regular traditional snow day. But if you read some of the reports that this could be an extensive storm that does, for some reason, impact Tuesday of no school at all, we would have to go to virtual learning. Because the purpose of this is to keep the adopted calendar active and accurate for the rest of the year. It wouldn't have to infringe upon that, because if we didn't have the option of virtual learning, and we know that's not the greatest tool to learn, we all understand that, know that, and been through it, but it does keep our calendar whole for the remaining part of the year. Just the caveat would be, just to put it out there, the high school, because of having Regents Week and class time, seat time, they would be going to a full day of virtual. And at the K to 8 level, they would be going to a 2-hour truncated day. And this is based on the state requirements of hours that are needed at all of the buildings. So I'm hoping it doesn't snow at all, but it looks inevitable that we could end up getting some snow this coming weekend. So could have an impact, and let's hope that it doesn't impact too greatly. And my last thing is I'd like to congratulate 2 people sitting at this table who received an award today from Scope. Their names are Mr. Andrew Bronson and Mr. Sidney Joyner for their 9 years of service, outstanding service on the Board of Education in South Huntington. They didn't know this, so they're hearing it for the first time right now. So I hope you can make it. It is March 23rd at Villa Lombardi's in Holbrook, and we look forward to honoring both of you, and we are extremely thankful of your commitment to this school district and all you have done in your 9 years. Thank you. That is it.
Congratulations, Mr. Joyner. Congratulations, Mr. Bronson, on these awards, as well as your own situation over the weekend with your son. Congratulations on his engagement. Very happy for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Great week.
All right. Comments by Ms. Maniatis. Lucy, great job in the national anthem.
Thank you. Okay. Quarter 2 is closing on Friday the 23rd, and grades are being solidified for Silas, Stimson, and Whitman. Students at the high school will be finding out their class rankings, with the valedictorian and salutatorian being solidified in a fun way, as Dr. Murphy surprises each student and their families with bouquets of flowers to congratulate them on their hard work over the years. The top 20 and students on the principal's list will also be announced in the coming weeks. On January 26th, the second half of winter sports start for Simpson, so go on and look at the schedules of those teams and cheer them on. The Harlem Magic Masters are coming to Whitman this Friday, the 23rd, for the elementary school students, so come watch as the South Huntington staff takes on the Magic Masters in an intense game of basketball. The Bravo Awards have been given out to Whitman seniors with several categories that honor students all throughout the arts for 13 students. The Performing Arts Award for music, Performing Arts Award for dance, Performing Arts Bravo, theater arts, which I actually did end up winning, Fine Arts Awards, and the Renaissance Artist. Thank you, Chef and Sheila Bussy, for organizing these awards and the award ceremony that will take place on Thursday, January 29th. Senior banquet is taking place Friday, January 30th, so the class of 2026 can come together and enjoy a great night together. And while the seniors are dancing it up, Maplewood has their family fun night on January 30th, Birchwood has their family fun night Thursday the 29th, and Oakwood has a family fun night Friday, February 6th. Lots of fun. At Whitman, the Xanadu concert is taking place on February 6th at 6 p.m. This is a night where students can share their talents and perform to raise money for the Xanadu Literary Magazine at Whitman. This is truly such an amazing event that I look forward to attending and performing at every year, so come and watch the great students at Whitman do what they love. And finally, on February 10th, the Night of 1,000 Strings is taking place, which all orchestra students in 4th to 12th grade come together and make music and perform with their instruments. It is an amazing way to bring so many students together throughout the district to share their talents with such a wonderful experience. And that's it.
Thank you, Lucy. Great job. Look forward to honoring you next week at Shep's second annual event.
Thank you.
All right. We are about to begin the public comment portion of tonight's meeting. As shared earlier, if any residents, taxpayers, or employees wish to speak at this time, please sign up at the computer located at the security desk. State law does not require the Board of Education to hold a public comment period during our meetings, but we have chosen to do so because we believe it is very important to hear from our community members. School district policy restricts public comment to district residents, taxpayers, and employees. Please be advised that you may choose to submit written comments to the Board of Education in lieu of speaking during the public comment portion of the meeting. Please be further reminded that the Board of Education is not permitted to address personnel or student matters in public and will not engage in discussions concerning any such matter or engage in any back and forth dialogue regarding these issues. The Board of Education President reserves the right to ask an individual who is not following our established policies and protocols or is disrespectful or disruptive to end his or her comments and to enforce these policies. In the event that any audience member does not abide by these policies or disrupts the board's ability to conduct its business, the Board of Education may elect to adjourn or recess the meeting or take other appropriate actions. All right, would anyone like to address the Board of Education? Okay. With that said, we've reached the end of our meeting. I will take a motion to adjourn. Mr. Bronson, seconded by Ms. LaCara. Are there any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Be well, everyone. See you next month.